right, let's go ahead and take a look at your homework. Trust you did well on your quiz 9 that we took in the last lesson. Yesterday after the quiz, we got away from the number line because I don't want to keep drawing number lines and boinking along the number line when there's a better way. Basically, we remember this. If the signs are the same, they're either both working positively or both working negatively to make each other more positive in the sum or more negative in the sum, right? So we said, class 8 with me, that if the signs are the same, add and keep the sign. Anytime we're adding together sign numbers and the signs are the same, class, we add and keep the sign. Very straightforward. We're on page 113, Luciana. But then we said, well, if one's a positive, but then we run negative, then it's like they're working against each other. If we start at a negative and then we go positive, it's like they're working in opposite directions. So to account for that, if the signs are different, subtract and choose the sign of the greater absolute value. Again, because I can't hear Jalen. If the signs are different, subtract and choose the sign of the greater absolute value. That was better, but that hurt my ears, Jalen. All right, so anyway, let's take a look at the I'm just picking on her. Let's take a look at the homework. You did numbers 1 to 24 on page 113. And the first problem was a 6 plus negative 12. The signs are different. So, Corey, what did you have to do on number 1?
Then choose the sign of the greater absolute value.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Exactly. And so what did you get for your answer, Corey?
Negative 6.
-6. Number 2, the signs are the same. So, Luciana, what did we have to do?
Add and keep the sign.
Couldn't have said it better myself. What did you get?
Negative 11.
-11. Number 3, excuse me, there's an 8 in it. Number 3, the signs are different. So, Bryson, what do we have to do? The sign of the greater absolute value. The winning sign is the way we put it yesterday as well. And what did you get for your answer?
-13.
Oh, careful. Which sign's bigger? The positive or the negative?
Positive 13.
Positive 13. There we go. Number 4, the signs are different, Griffin. So what do we got to do? Number 4, in the homework. Signs are different. What do we got to do? Pay attention, boy.
Subtract and choose the sign of the greater absolute value.
Very good. What did you get? Number 4.
+3.
+3 is correct. There we go. We struggled a little bit. We got there. Number 5. Signs are different. What do we got to do, Michael?
Subtract and choose the sign of the greater absolute value.
And what'd you get?
-1.
-1. Number 6. Elaine. Signs are the same. What do we got to do?
Add and keep the sign.
Very good. And what did you get for your answer?
For 6, -22.
Yeah, pay attention. We're going in order here. I'm not trying to go out of order and throw you off or anything. Number 7. Signs are the same, Joel. What do we got to do?
Add the add and keep the greater sign.
Add and keep the sign. So what did you get?
-6.
-6. Number 8. Signs are the same. What do we got to do, Kirsten?
Add and keep the sign.
And what'd you get?
+27.
+27. Number 9. Signs are different then. What do we got to do?
Subtract.
And,
19.
well, yeah, but subtract and choose
Greater value.
choose the sign of the greater absolute value. So what's our answer?
19.
+19. Number 10. Signs are the same, Ben. What do we got to do?
Add.
And
Keep the same sign.
there we go. So what did you get?
-13.
Very good. Number 11. The signs are different. What do we got to do, Kirsten?
Subtract and keep the sign and choose the sign of the greater absolute value.
Good. What'd you get?
-6.
On number 11?
On 2.
+2. You're looking at number 7 right above it. +2 is correct. Number 12. Signs are the same. What do we got to do, Joel?
Add and keep the sign.
And what'd you get?
12.
+12 or just 12. All of those addition problems were just following the rules. How many got all 12 of them right? How many just missed 1 or 2? Are there any questions on any of the ones we missed? Now, starting with number 13, only one of the rest of the problems is actually addition. All the rest of them, class, are subtraction. But do we actually subtract, class?
No.
No. What do we do? Add the inverse. Say that with me. Subtraction is adding the inverse. So on 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 20, not 19, every one of those, you should have changed it to adding the inverse. So on number 13, it becomes 26 plus negative 12. And now the signs are different. Subtract, choose the sign of the greater absolute value. Elaine, your answer for 13.
38.
Oh, Elaine. 26, did you change it to 26 plus negative 12?
Yes.
Did you remember that since the signs are different, we subtract and choose the sign of the greater absolute value to get positive 14? So these same rules apply. That's the whole reason we change it to adding the inverse, is so we can just consistently use the same two rules over and over again. So on number 14, Elaine, how should I rewrite that?
Negative 8 plus negative 27.
Okay, now my rule is the signs are the
Same.
So now we
Add.
and
I got
keep the sign, so we get
19. No.
add and keep the sign.
Um.
What's 8 plus 27?
35.
35, and then keep the sign,
Negative.
negative 35. What I think you did, Elaine, I think you just ignored the fact that it was subtracting, and you just looked at the two numbers like we've been doing for the first 12. And starting with 13, they changed them to subtraction. So we got to add the inverse for every one of them. So on number 15, Michael, how do we rewrite it real quick?
Positive 14 plus positive 7.
Signs are the same. Add and keep the sign.
21.
Positive 21. Number 16. How do we rewrite it, Griffin?
Negative 65 plus positive 31.
64.
It's okay. I wrote it says 34 or 64. You said 65. It's okay. Plus positive 31. Now the signs are different. What do we got to do, class? Subtract and choose the sign of the greater absolute value. Griffin, our answer.
I got negative 95.
Oh, the pain, but the signs are different. Should have subtracted, Elaine.
Negative 33.
Negative 33 this time, our answer. Number 17. How do we rewrite it, Bryson?
44 plus 44 plus positive 20.
Good. Well, signs are the same, class. We add and keep the sign, Bryson. Positive 56. Look at the next one. It says negative 73 minus positive 17. Luciana, how do we rewrite it?
Positive 73 plus positive 17.
Okay, careful. When we add the inverse, it's the second one that changes, never the first one. So don't touch the negative 73, Luciana. Leave it as a negative 73, but add the inverse of the second one.
Positive 17.
Becomes negative 17. Do you see it? Leave the first number alone, change the minus to a plus, change the next term, it was positive, so change it to a negative. Does that make sense? So now the signs are the same, class. We add and keep the sign, we get negative 90. Don't forget to keep the sign. So on the next one, well, the next one, that's addition. We don't add the inverse if it's addition. We just look and say, hey, the signs are different. So Corey, we need to
Subtract the value of 8.
the sign of the, there we go. So what do we get for our answer on 19, Corey? 30. Okay, Luciana, back to you. Number 20, how will we rewrite that as an addition problem?
Negative 25.
Oh, don't touch the first number.
Positive 25 plus negative 75.
Well, it already was a negative 75. Add the inverse. Change the negative 75 to a positive 75. Okay, so one more time. Anytime it says subtract, we say, no, we don't do that here. We're going to add the inverse. So you change to an addition, and whatever this sign is, you change it. If it was plus, you change it to minus. Since it's minus or negative, we change it to positive. Does that make sense? And so now, class, it's signs are the same. Add and keep the sign. Anybody? Our last answer?
100.
Positive 100. We'll be working on more of this today, Luciana, so it's okay. We'll catch you up from yesterday's material. Look at number 21. You're supposed to use a number line, it said, but even so, on number 21, it's trying to get us, class, to subtract, and we don't do that here. So here we go, Luciana. Third tries the charm. It says negative 4 minus negative 2. How should I rewrite it so it's an addition problem, Luciana?
Negative 4 plus positive 2.
Perfect. There we go. So on the number line, which I normally wouldn't want to use, but it told me to, 1, 2, 3, 4, we're going to start at negative 4, and then I'm going to go which direction since I'm adding a positive 2?
Right?
We're going to go to the right. 2 places. Boink, boink. And where are we?
Negative 2.
Negative 2. How many had negative 2 for your answer on number 21? Number 22, we really don't need a number line Because class 3 and negative 3 are additive inverses, right? They're the same absolute value, they're opposite signs, they cancel to just give 0. And number 23, it says 5 minus 7. Technically, what sign is the 5, class?
Positive.
Technically, what sign is the 7?
Positive.
But we never subtract, class, we add the inverse. So then, how do I rewrite this?
Positive.
I said Ben, I thought. Did I not say Ben?
You said Ben.
You did say Ben.
Yeah.
I said Ben. Hi, Joel. This is Ben. Ben, meet Joel. Ben, how do we rewrite this? I was like, did I say Joel in my brain said Ben? Okay, anyway, go ahead, Ben.
Change the minus to addition
Okay.
and change the positive to negative
Which one?
7.
Just the 7. Good. To a negative 7. Okay, so now on the number line, then, we start at
5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We start here. And then I go 7 places. Which way, Ben?
To the left.
To the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Whoa, look, here I am again at
Negative 2.
negative 2. How many had negative 2 for number 23 also? Questions on those. How many after doing those were like, you know, this number line thing is really annoying and obnoxious. I'm so glad we have a faster way. Even if we're not streamlined there, we're still making a few mistakes here, and that's okay, right? We work through it. It takes time, but so much faster without the number line. Number 24, all they wanted you to do was rewrite them as addition problems. So 24A, Griffin, we rewrote it.
Negative 1 plus positive 10.
Good, and then letter B, how did we rewrite it, Joel?
Positive 2 plus negative 8.
Excellent job. Positive 2 plus negative 8. All right, questions on the homework. Any questions on that homework? Flip back to page 112, or look across the page, excuse me, page 112. I want you to do 37 to 48 at the top of page 112. Let's get some more practice with this. I thought we did pretty well on the homework. There were a few bugs we needed to work through. That's okay. That's why we're here in math class, right? So working through 37 to 48, let's see if we've got these bugs worked out now. Finished. Michael's finished. Bryson. And Corey. it. Just a little longer to be finishing up. Joel. All right, pencils down. Even if you're not finished with all of them, let's see how we did on these answers. And most of these were subtraction. There were only a couple of addition. So most of these required us to add the inverse. Curious to see how we did here. And we're going to give Ben the first crack at the candy today, since he was the first one done. Ben, what did you get on number 37?
0.
0 is correct. We change it to -9 plus +9. Inverses cancel. Number 38?
21.
21. That's a positive 21. Change it to 5 plus +16. Number 39. We didn't have to add the inverse this time. What do we get?
-2.
-2. Great job. Number 40. Didn't have to add the inverse this time either.
5.
Positive 5. Next row. Did need to add the inverse this time. What do we get on 41?
0.
Oh, okay. Perfect on the top row. Great job. Let's go to Michael. Michael, are you perfect so far?
What was the answer for the second one?
21.
I meant the 41.
For number 41? That's what
Yeah.
I'm asking you. What did you get on 41?
Oh, I got the same answer.
You also got 0. Bryson, are you good on 37 to 40? What did you get on 41?
18.
Say that again?
18.
Oh, all right. We go to Corey. What did you get for number 41?
-18.
-18. This was a -9 minus 9, which has to become plus a -9.
Oh.
Signs are the same. Add and keep the sign. All right. So, Corey, are you perfect 37 to 40 also?
Yeah.
All right. So we'll stay with you then. Number 42, what did you get?
-11.
-11. Number 43.
-74.
Great job. -74. That's -36 plus -38. Number 44.
-5.
-5 is correct. All right, going across the bottom row. Corey's on a roll. What did you get?
-38.
-38. Great job. -29 plus -9. Number 46.
-43.
-43. That's 12 plus -55. Number 47. We didn't have to add the inverse this time.
-207.
Well, not with and, but -207 is correct. And for the candy, Twix bar is within your grasp. All you have to do is get number 48 correct. What did you get?
282.
Say that again.
282.
Oh, so close. All right, next up was Kirsten. Kirsten, are you perfect on all of them? No. All right, are you perfect so far, Joel? All right, what did you get for 48?
-282.
It's -282. Add and keep the sign, and you just forgot to keep the sign. So Joel with the candy there. All right, that was your only one that you missed though, right? Did anyone else just miss one? All right, a couple of you. Good. Anyone just miss 2 or 3? All right, questions on any of these? Which ones do we need to have explained to us? Or when you heard the correct answer, you're like, oh, I see what I should have done. Questions, Ben?
47.
Number 47, yeah, so we've got a -521, and we don't add the inverse here. We don't change this to a -314 because it says plus. So we just say, well, there's a -251, and that's a positive 314. Signs are different. We're going to subtract and keep the sign of the greater absolute value. And that's where the -207 comes from. Good. Other questions on 37 to 48? Yes, ma'am. 39? Let's see, we have the 36 plus -38. Again, we don't have to add the inverse because it already says plus, but the signs are different. It's a positive 36 plus the -38 as it already said. So since the signs are different, we're going to subtract. 38 minus 36 gives 2, but the winning sign, the 36 is not as big as the 38. Now, technically positives are bigger, but greater absolute value is this one, right? This is more negative than this is positive, so the negative wins in a sense, so we keep the negative on the 2. Does that make sense? Good. Other questions? Take a break, and we'll come right back to these signed numbers here in a minute, but let's mix it up just a little bit. Drop down to the review section, if you would, please. Drop down to the review section, do 67 to 74. We'll see if we can get some more candy out. Let's do 67 to 74. The review section now, and then we'll get right back into these signed numbers. There's a little bit of signed numbers in the review anyway. Michael? Peace be still. You finished? Ben finished. There's a group of numbers, and this actually goes back to something we talked about at the very beginning of the year. There's a group of numbers that are all the counting numbers, all their negatives, and a zero. So there's a group of numbers like that. You'll have to go back and look that up, because you weren't here when we taught it. We changed subtraction to adding the inverse. We never change addition to something else. We want addition. So don't mess up addition. Change subtraction, add an inverse. If it says addition, be like, yay, happiness, it's addition. Okay? And just straight up add. Now, that said, you still start here. And you still go that way. And you still get that answer. But we don't change it to anything else. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, here. And the good news is, moving forward, I'm not going to require you to use a number line. We'll just go with the rules, because like, why would we do it slowly when we've done it faster? All right. I think I lost track of who finished where. Joel was first, though there was one thing that he was not here for when we taught it. I'm still going to give you the shot at the candy, Joel. I was curious to see if you'd have time to find it, but we need to go ahead and go over these answers. I think I had Joel, then Corey, Michael, Ben, Corey, Elaine. Anyway, however it worked out, well, hopefully we get the candy in there somewhere. If not, I'll eat the candy. That won't bother me. I can do that, you know. Anyway, number 67, we were supposed to use the number line to subtract. No. We add the inverse. Joel, what do we get on number 67?
Positive 4.
Positive 4. We change it to negative 3 plus positive 7. Start at negative 3, then go forward 7 to positive 4. The next one, Joel, negative 3 plus negative 3, we get?
Negative 6.
We start at negative 3 and then go 3 more negatives to get negative 6. Number 69, we rewrite each of those as addition problems. Letter A, how do we rewrite it?
6 plus positive 4.
Good. For letter B?
Negative 7 plus negative 3.
Excellent. And letter C?
Negative 8 plus positive 10.
Peace be still, Ben. Number 70, great job. Number 70, what goes in the blank?
Greater than.
Greater than. Think about this, class. Negative 1/4. If this is 0, this is negative 1, then right here would be negative 1/2, right? Here would be negative 1/4. This is bigger because it's further this way. This is more negative, which makes it smaller. So negative 1/4 is greater. Good. How about letter B?
Negative 15. No.
What symbol goes in the blank is what I'm asking.
Greater than.
What is the mouth eating?
Oh, it's a 67.
It should have been. Did you have the mouth eating the absolute value of negative 15?
I thought it was 15 until I...
Yeah, negative 15 is greater, but the absolute value of negative 15 is less. Let's see, Michael, are you good so far? Yes? No? No. Okay, Ben, are you good so far? No. Corey, good so far? You are. Okay, Corey, did you get less than on letter B? Okay, letter C, what goes in the blank?
Equal.
Equal to. How about letter D?
Equal.
Equal to. Number 71, how do we factor 54 with exponents?
2 times 3 cubed.
Excellent job. Remember, we're going to factor the 54 to something like 6 and 9, because that's the only thing we memorized as kids. This is 2 times 3, this is 3 times 3. But with exponents, we want to say 2 times 3 cubed. Great job, Corey. How about letter B? The 90 factors into?
2 times 5 times 3 squared.
Good. Only thing, I would put the 2 times 3 squared times 5, so they get progressively larger, but it's not wrong what you said. Then 176 was the toughie.
2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 11.
But with exponents,
2 times, 2.
how many 2's are there?
4.
So we would say 2 to the
4.
4th times 11. I'll give it to you. 2 to the 4th times 11. All right, number 72. This is what Joel was not here for at the beginning of the year. Class, what do we call numbers that include counting numbers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and so forth. Their inverses, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, and 0. In other words, the things you would actually label on a number line. What are those numbers called, class?
Whole numbers.
Integers. Remember, whole numbers start at 0 and go up. Integers include the negatives as well. Integers, I-N-T-E-G-E-R-S. So I would write that in there, Joel, so that you're familiar with it. Basically, the way I taught it, Joel, integers are nice, easy numbers that we like. I say I like integers, so we remember integer with the I. I like integers because they don't have fractions and they don't have decimals, and I hate fractions and decimals, so I like integers. Number 73, arrange these from greatest to least. Corey.
25, 19, 17, -2, -8, -21.
Great job. 25, 19, 17, -2, -8, -21. And number 74 for the candy, Corey. On which side of 0 on the number line are all positive numbers located?
Right.
The right side. Very good. Oh, right through the hand. All right. But the main thing was I got it over Luciana's head and didn't clunk her in the forehead. That was good. All right. Flip back, if you would, to page 111 real quick. Turn back to page 111. And we've been adding signed numbers using these rules, but we've always had just two numbers. One number plus another number. Or maybe it was subtraction, we changed to adding the inverse, but in class it was always one number and another number. But we know this. You can add lots of numbers all at once, can you not? For instance, they give us this problem in the blue box. I'm going to put it on the board as well. -5 or -8 plus +5 plus -4 plus -5 plus +6. Well, that's a whole lot of numbers to add up. Let me tell you what we're not going to do. What we're not going to do is say, well, the signs are different. We subtract, keep the sign of the greater absolute value. Say that's -3. All right, signs are the same. We're going to add and keep the sign that's -7. All right, signs are the same. We're going to add and keep the sign that's -12. Okay, now the signs are different. We're going to subtract, keep the sign of the greater absolute value. That's -6. Now that's the right answer. But that's a whole lot of thinking, isn't it? And you got to bounce back and forth, and one time signs are the same, and then they're different. Mathematicians are lazy. So even though you could go in order like order of operations suggests, we're going to apply the commutative and associative properties. We're going to rearrange it a little bit to our liking. Here's what we're going to do, class. We're going to get all our positive numbers together. I got a +5 and a +6. Because when you get the positives together, you're guaranteed they all have the same signs, right? What's 5 plus 6, class?
11.
+11. Then we're going to get all the negative numbers together. -8, -4, -5. Again, all the signs are the same. We're guaranteed every time. We're just going to have to add and keep the sign. What do we get if we add -8, -4, -5, class?
-17.
-17. Then, only one time do we even have to think about, okay, now the signs are different. Now we subtract 6 and keep the sign of the greater absolute value. Same answer, but it's a consistent process. Get all your positives together, get one thing. Get all your negatives together, get one thing. Then subtract, choose the sign of the greater absolute value. It just makes the work easier. So turn over now, if you would, to page 112. Page 112. And look at number 49. Number 49. Notice, well, on number 49, there's actually a thing we could do to kind of cheat the system. Look at 49. Do you see a couple things that would cancel, class? -3, +3. Hey, cross them out right there in your book. Just cross out -3 and the +3. The only thing left, class, is?
16.
So what's our answer? 16. Sometimes they're going to give you inverses. You can just cross them out, make your life easier, right? Let's be real lazy, right? Look at the next one, number 52, right below it. We're going to go down this column together. There's only one negative, and that's -12. So we're not going to worry about that right now. Let's get the two positives together. We know how to add +3 and +9, class. +12. Well, wait a second. That's all my positives put together. That's all my negatives, all one of it put together. And they happen to be inverses. So what's our answer? 0 again. Well, that was easy. Look at number 55. This time I only have one positive, so we're not going to worry about the 45. Let's get the two negatives together. -12 and -34, class.
46.
-46. And keep the sign. And now we put our unlike signs together. Now only one time do we even have to think about subtracting and keeping the sign of the greater absolute value, class. -1. Look at the next one right below it, number 58. I got two positives. What are my two positives on number 58, Bryson?
77, 54.
Let's add those together real quick. Call it when you got it, somebody.
131.
131. Okay, so that's a positive 131. Write that off to the side. Now we got two negatives. The -117, the -26. At your seats, put those together. Someone besides Elaine, tell us what we get when we put those two together.
142, 142.
-143. There we go. All right, so there's our positives together. It's like we're grouping them, associative property here. Group them together, group the positives, group the negatives. Now, one time, we're going to put the unlike signs together. Now, notice how I write it, class. I always put the bigger absolute value on top. The 143 has a bigger absolute value than 131. It makes the subtraction easier, right? So, make life easy on yourself. Let's be smart. I put the negative 46 on top of the negative 54, just make it a little easier. When we subtract, what do we get, class?
Negative 12.
12, and we keep the sign of the greater, so we keep negative 12. Do you see what we're doing? Give the positives, give the negatives, and then one time do a subtraction. Look at number 61. What should we combine first on number 61, Ben?
The positives.
Oh, sure. All right, so what are they?
22 and 200.
What do we get if we combine them?
222.
222, 222. And I'm going to go and put the positive, so I remember that's my positive. Now that, Ben, we have to combine our,
Negatives.
and what do we get when we combine those together?
22.
Careful.
25.
What's 8 plus 7? 15, right? So 18 plus 7 would be
25.
25. There we go. It's a negative 25, isn't it? Now, one time we subtract, which means we got some little bit of borrowing we got to do here. And when we subtract anybody, we get
197.
197. What sign?
Positive.
Positive. 197. You could just say 197, of course, but positive 197. Oh, dick. Number 64. What do we have to combine first on this one, Luciana?
678 and 271.
Sure, let's combine those together. And what do we get when we combine them, Luciana?
949.
That's a positive 949. Okay, that's the positives. Now we got to add the negatives together. And what do we get when we add the negatives together, Michael?
949.
Careful.
1,000. Oh, the negatives.
The negatives, yep.
Oh, 1,562.
There we go, negative 1,562. And now, just one time, we got to do a little bit of subtraction. We're going to subtract these values, and what do we get for our answer? Bryson?
Oh, 415.
Ooh, careful.
Oh, 615.
That's 615. What's 12 minus 9?
3.
3. So, negative 613. Should have been our answer there. Negative 613. All right, then, big numbers in that one. Do we see how to work with multiple addends? Get all your positives, get all your negatives. Those are the easy parts. Now, one time at the end, do the subtraction. Make sure we keep the sign of the greater absolute value. You go down the second column now. 50 to 65. Work your way down the second column. By the way, for those of you who were here last year and remember Mr. McDonald, he sends his greetings from negative temperatures up in Illinois. Remember we talked the other day about negative temperatures, and it says here in the U.S. we don't get them very often because, water freezes at 32. And the day after I say that to you, he sends me a text and say, yeah, we're getting negative 12 tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many are glad you're in Georgia, where even though it's in the teens this morning, at least it's not in the negatives. Oh man, bitter cold right now up there.
Snow.
They got plenty of snow up north, so I hear. I will be honest. It would be nice to get a little bit of snow. I don't want snow all the time because it can be a pain, shoveling, clearing, that kind of thing. But it'd be nice to have a day or two.
Yeah.
One with that too. You just had a day off school. You want another one? What does the Bible say? The eyes of man are never satisfied. Get $500. What do you want? Another $500. Get a day out of school. What do you want? Another day out of school. Get a Corvette. What do you want? Mustang. Because that's why the Bible says, learn whatsoever state you're in, to be content. Lord, this is what you've given me. Thank you, Lord. Doesn't mean you can't pray for snow. Pray for other things, right? As long as it doesn't rob you of your joy. That should come from God. Yes, ma'am. Yes. Good Elaine, good Joel. Griffin, Corey. And just going down the second column.
Oh.
50 to 65, just going down the second column. I've seen people working on the third column like, y'all ain't listening. Evie'd be like, I wonder what was taking him so long. All right, let's take a look at these here, since it feels like most of us are done. Number 50, start by getting your two negatives together, class, to get negative 70. Careful, make sure we carry. Then you got this little old positive 4. Combine those together by subtracting, keeping the sign of the greater absolute value. What do we get, Elaine?
Negative 66.
Negative 66. Number 53, start by getting the two positives together to get positive 14. And you got the lonely little negative 2 to get, Joel,
Positive 12.
positive 12. Number 56, start by getting, now again, technically, in all of these so far, we're still going in order because they happen to put the two negatives together and the two positives together. We can go out of order if we need to. Number 56, we get the two positives together, class, to get positive 98. Then we put the lonely little negative 17 with it to get, Kirsten,
Positive 81.
positive 81. Now, number 59, we've got three negatives together that all have to be combined. And if we combine all three of those negatives together, what do we get then?
184.
Well, the positive is 184, but that because it was the only positive. We get the three negatives together. What was your negative total?
I didn't get that.
Didn't get that, Griffin?
118.
Negative 118. So we put the negative total of 118 with the positive 184 to get what answer then, Griffin?
66.
Positive 66. Number 62, I've got three positives that all have to be added together, Michael.
19, 21, 88.
Yeah, what does that give us?
Oh. 29. Well,
Corey, help.
40,
Number 62, we had all the positives we get.
48.
Positive 48, there we go. And then we have the one lonely little negative, which is negative 26. So what's our answer, Corey?
22.
Positive 22, our answer for that one. And then number 65 at the bottom of the stack. Ooh, do you see what they did on 65? Two of those, we don't do that here. Two of these, class, we have to add the inverse. So the negative 4 is okay, the positive 31 is okay, but we're going to change it to plus a positive 88, and plus a negative 6, and plus the positive 11. And so now I've got, well, let's start with the negatives, because I like to start with the easy stuff, because I'm lazy. Negative 4, negative 6, class? Negative 10. And then we got 1, 2, 3 positives, which when I add them all together gives me
130.
positive 130. We subtract, keep the sign of the greater. We get what for our answer, anybody?
120.
Careful, keep the sign of the greater, the positive 120. How many got that for the last one? 65. Just a couple of you. Questions on those? Third column. Some of you already did much of the third column by accident. We're going to do the third column now. That's 51 to 66. there's a big time shortcut on number 51. You knock out those inverses, you've already got your answer. All right, for sake of time, pencils down. I know most of you haven't had a chance to finish all of these. Let's talk through them very quickly. Number 51, should have canceled the positive negative 45s right off the bat, just gotten 3. How many saw that? How many combined and got positive 48, negative 45, and still got positive 3, just didn't do it the lazy way? Yeah, it works. Number 54, stay with me. 2 negatives have to be combined. You'll get a negative 125. Then you put your lonely little positive 90 with it to get anyone? Negative
35.
35. Negative 35 is our answer. Number 57. There is a shortcut. How many of you realized if you pair the negative 10 and negative 30, that's negative 40, which cancels with the positive 40, so the only thing left is the negative 7. It's a weird way of thinking of it, but it works and it's fast. The other way is just say, hey, I got 3 negatives, that's negative 47. I got 1 lonely positive, it's positive 40. Still get negative 7, doesn't take me much longer anyway. And so you can do it that way as well. Looking at the next one, I got 3 negatives, and that combines to give me negative 72. And I've got the lonely positive 50, negative 22, our answer. Getting down to where some of us may not have gotten this far, the next one I see 2 negatives on the ends. I'm going to make that a negative 758. I've got 2 positives in the middle, make that a positive 344, and that gives me a negative 414. Anyone get that far? Get negative 414. Wow, good. Bryson, Joel, Corey. And then the last one. We've got to change some things. The negative 15 is okay, but I got to change it to adding a positive 56. And then plus a negative 8. Positive 43 is fine, plus a positive 10. So I end up with 1, 2, 3 positives. Anybody? You had 56, 43, and 10. We get
99.
plus the 10.
11.
109. Positive 109. And I got 2 negatives. We got to combine the 2 negatives together to get anyone?
23.
Negative 23. And so we end up with, what is this, a positive 86? Yep, that's what the book has as well. For those who made it that far. You got that, Corey? Great job. Bryson as well. Outstanding. Now, homework this evening. Have a wonderful rest of your day. You are dismissed.